Yeah.
Don't have to hose off my solar panels now. The wind or the rain storm took care of it for me.
Yeah.
I gave up Western solar panels. Mine are 25 feet in the air, and a few clouds passing over, I think, makes up for a couple of.
No, that's as long as it rains on them a couple of times a year,
Yeah.
You're okay. Yours are some of the oldest in town, aren't they?
Probably. I often question that. My power bill still runs, between 100 and 150 a month.
Mine runs about 2-3 cents a month.
Well, you use a lot of power. Sometimes I wonder, but yeah, they're 11 years old.
You doing something illegal in there that's using all that power?
No, I've got the guest house, and I've got electric jacuzzi. I had the pond in the waterfall. I pulled it out, and I'm getting ready to pull the swimming pool out. So you would think I would see a reduction, but I have a son that leaves everything in his room on. Anyway, life's good. I'm not complaining.
There you go. You gotta leave the pool.
I'm going to start the meeting here. I see Chuck. I don't see Bob. Bob, are you on? Okay, well, it's 2 o'clock, February 2nd, 2001, and I'll call the meeting to the order of the Mojave Air and Spaceport Board of Directors. Director Barney?
Present.
Director Coleman?
Here.
Director Deaver?
Here.
Director Morgan?
Hi.
Oh, you are there. Okay, good. And Director Ballantyne's here. All right. I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Deaver, motion on the agenda.
All right. A motion by Director Deaver. Second.
Second by Coleman.
Director Ballantyne, I have a quick question.
Sure.
David, did we have an item we needed to add to the agenda regarding an acquisition?
Yes, I'm glad you spoke up because I just remembered it after we got somebody proposed the agenda. Yes, we have a meeting. We have an item that we need to take action on that has occurred subsequent to the posting of the agenda. So
I will amend my motion.
All right, and let me specify this will be a closed session item for real property negotiations regarding the acquisition of which hangar number, David?
938.
Hangar 938. It is subject to the district's first right of refusal in the lease agreement with the tenant. And we, after posting the agenda, we received notice of the sale of the hangar and an offer, and we have 15 days to respond. So that's why we're asking the board to add it this afternoon.
Okay, we'll add it as item D, hangar 938, and I'm looking for a motion then to amend the agenda with the need to take action. Item D, closed session, hangar 938. Do I have a motion?
Yes, I'll amend my motion.
All right, there's a second.
Coleman, second.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Director Barney, roll call.
Present.
No.
Gotcha. Yes.
Okay.
Approved.
Thank you. Director Coleman,
Aye.
Director Deaver,
Aye.
Director Morgan,
Aye.
and Director Ballantyne. All right.
Thank you, members of the board.
Sorry, Scott.
I just said thank you for adding the item.
You bet. All right. Next is community announcements. Members of the audience may make announcements regarding community events. Does anyone out there have an announcement? All right. None being There, the next item will be the consent calendar, or the consent agenda, sorry. It's minutes of the regular board meeting of January 19th this year, and the check register dated January 27th, 21. Anyway, looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
Deaver will make the motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Bill. Do I have a second?
30 seconds.
All right. All in favor, Director Barney?
Aye.
Director Coleman?
Aye.
Director Deaver?
Aye.
Director Morgan?
Aye.
Director Valentine? Aye. Consent calendar is approved unanimously. Next item, action item, and I think David or Carrie?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn that over to Carrie. She'll lead us in that, Jim.
All right, thank you, Carrie.
Good afternoon. This is in regards to our mid-year revisions. In the previous years, we bring back the budget for a mid-year just to ensure that we stay on track. Based on our budget to actuals as of December 31st, 2020, our operating revenue is at 66% and operating expenses are at 51%. At the time we presented our original budget, we were being conservative due to the unknown impacts of COVID and that would have on the district, such as the cost of living increases for staff, OPEB trust contributions, and limited spending. The district did not have any major impacts due to COVID, so we would like to update the budget accordingly. At this time, the original budget, the cost of living increase is on hold until the budget review. The COLA for 2020 is 1.6% if the board wanted to implement that for the remainder of the year or revisit it in the budget workshop that we'll have in March and April for our next year budget. The significant changes include increases to operating revenue for additional fuel sales we've had this year with F-18s and tenant activity. In addition, an increase in non-operating revenue with property tax payments we've received. In our original budget, we budgeted for depreciation at $2 million. Since then, we've received our audited financials for 2020 and would like to adjust the depreciation to $2.5 million. So our audited financials this year are in line with our budgeted amount. One other item that actually we would like to contribute to is in 2019, we opened a trust for our Ever Coast employment benefits to bring down our unfunded liability. And in previous years, we contributed $250,000 and would like to contribute the same this year as the account had a great investment earning of $84,000. We plan to have a budget workshop for the upcoming year in March and April so we can discuss any new items that we would like projects to start or anything like that. At this time, we're just asking for you to approve the resolution and the 2021 budget revision as presented.
Thank you, Carrie.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Carrie or David?
Yeah, Director Barney here. I'm curious about the bad debts. Is that something we talk about in open session?
Yes.
Scott, is that something? Yes. So we actually just give it earmarked for the $50,000. As of right now, we actually, since we just sent Randall Kelly's account to collections, so that one is a possibility that will go in there. In previous years, the last couple of years, we haven't had hardly anything in the bad debt expense, but this year it looks like we're going to have some with that account.
I gotcha. Let's see. I think I had one other question here. Would you mind putting the budget back up, please? Thank you. Yes, I was curious about what assets are included in depreciation.
That would be anything here on the airport that we've purchased. We do straight line depreciation. So that's just over the years. Actually, yeah, you'll notice in the previous years we actually didn't put depreciation on our budget. But just over the years doing the financial statements, that way it didn't look like we were not accounting for it. So we started to do that. If you wanted like a full, because it's a long spreadsheet, I'd feel comfortable in sharing that with you.
Thank you. Yes, not looking for a ton of detail, just curious for broad strokes what that includes, like vehicles owned by the airport, but not buildings, that kind of characterization.
Yeah, it is including the buildings, vehicles, equipment, anything over $5,000 is considered a capital expense, and so would be considered a fixed asset that we depreciate.
Thank you, Carrie.
David, do you have any comments?
I don't have any specific comments. I want to thank Carrie for that report. I think the reporting that we've gotten to over the space of several years now is really gotten concise. The staff did a wonderful job, and kudos to Karina, but kudos to the staff for putting this budget together. They're coming in. The budget looks good, with the exception of a couple small modifications, which have no material effect on the financial aspects of the airport at all. It's pretty tight. So kudos to the staff.
All right. Carrie, were you looking for any other actions than just a resolution to approve the amended budget? Was there anything else you wanted in that?
No, the only thing else I mentioned was the COLA, and that was just at the time we did the budget, we put that on hold to discuss at this time. But the board could go forward with that, or we can just table it until we do our budget workshop to start July 1.
I would like to hold it to the workshop, just for the new board members. The more they can get involved with this whole process, I think the more they're comfortable they're going to be moving forward. So I'd like to see it held over to the workshop.
I'll make a note of it and just do it during the workshop.
Just as a note, that's not included in the revision that she's requesting the amendment. So.
I understand, Dave. I just want to be extra clear here.
Right.
Do any other board members have any comment on this? All right. I'm looking for a motion to approve the resolution, the amended budget for the fiscal year commencing July 1st of 2020. Do I have a motion?
Deaver makes the motion. You guys got to learn how to. I'm not the only guy on this board.
All right, I have a motion by Director Deaver. Do I have a second?
Per Jim's previous comment, I do appreciate the desire to keep the new board members included, but without seeing tremendous details, I hesitate to be the one to either put a resolution or second for something as critical as a budget.
Okay. Did you happen to? You got the agenda prior. You got the agenda on Friday. Am I correct?
You are correct. I did.
Okay. I'm going to encourage all board members, so we don't get into these spots, to please take the time to read the agenda and to contact staff prior. If they have any questions on anything, they'll be more than happy to help you. We get to this point and you don't have enough information, and I went in and talked to Carrie about it. I reviewed it. I'll make a second, but I would hope that the other board members would have a little confidence and move forward with passing this.
May I interrupt here, Jim, for a second?
Yes.
I get around. I travel over the state. I've been involved in local politics, state politics, you name it. And I feel pretty comfortable stating for the record and for the masses to hear that in the past 4 or 5 years, the Mojave and Spaceport is one of the best run financial government entities in the state of California. These changes are small. It's perfunctory in nature, and I hope that the board approves it. That's all I have to say.
I'd just like to add that a lot of the reasons for that, for our present condition, is your expertise, David, as a CPA, has come in very handy over the years. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill. It means a lot.
All right, I have a motion by Director Deaver. I have a second by Director Valentine. Director Barton?
Approved.
Director Coleman?
Approved.
Thank you, sir. Director Morgan?
Approved.
Director Deaver?
Aye.
And Director Ballantyne? Aye. Thank you very much. Next item will be reports. Item A, financial reports. That's probably back to Carrie.
It is.
Thank you. Carrie?
Yes, I'm back on, Jim. These are the financials for month ending December 30th, which you guys had seen in the mid-year revision, which had actually the budget to actuals. But you'll see on these reports, the bank balance increased $350,000. We did do another FAA draw for Taxiway Charlie. Our fuel sales for December were up to 131,000 gallons, and that was due to F-18s. We're flying in December, and then also Stratolaunch had gotten some fuel during that time. The AR aging, just wanted to note that Dragon Aviation, since we've reported, did the report, they have made a payment. So that amount has been brought down. They haven't paid it in full, but they did make another payment. On Jose Lopez, he has vacated the property. We are working with him on trying to get a payment arrangement. If he doesn't get anything set up by next meeting, we're going to send him to collections as well. And that's all. The gym currently still is right now closed. Now the stay-at-home order is off. Just Kern County has to get into the next tier before the gym can open back up.
Jim, if I may, please.
Sure, go ahead.
I'd like the board to know that I met with staff yesterday, and we're going to try to come up with some ideas on the gym that hopefully will save us a lot of money there. So I've asked them to report back to me next week on what some of our options are, and I hope to bring that to the board, perhaps next meeting, if not the one after that. But I just wanted you to be aware of that.
All right. And also, I would encourage any directors, if you have comments or want input on this item, to please contact Dave or get a hold of staff and ask your questions and maybe make some suggestions. This has been a tough one. We like our gym here, but it's becoming a bigger liability than I think maybe a lot of us are going to be willing to take. Anyway, please contact staff, Dave, any of the board members if you have any input. Next item is CEO General Manager report.
I really don't have anything of note other than we lease tenure 973 month to month. We have a lot of things in the works, but nothing to really report vocally about. So that's the end of my report.
All right, David, thank you. Item C, board committees. We have no standing committees. Item D, board of director. This meeting portion of the meeting is reserved for board members to comment on items not on the agenda. Do we have any board members that would like to make a comment? All right, next item, public comments for items not on the agenda. Members of the public may make comments to the board on items not on the agenda. Do we have any public comments? All right. Hey, Bob, I see you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for attending. The next portion of the meeting will be a closed session, so anyone, directors and needed staff, stay on. Everyone else, if they'd please hang up or disconnect. And thank you very much for attending.
And Jason, if you'll just let me know